One of the movies we watched this week is a 1980 Kurt Russell comedy by the name of Used Cars.
Whoa!
Oh my gosh.
Nico, do you want to run us through a quick plot synopsis of Used Cars?
I'd rather Jackson does it.
Okay.
Why me?
Because you love cars.
To be honest,
Yeah.
I was thinking of asking you to do it, Jackson, but I figured you'd be too shy.
Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Alright, so we have our main protagonist. He works at a used car dealership. He's trying to save up some money so that he can be a politician. That's his main goal. He wants to do something with his life. Then also we have the brother of the car dealership owner, works at a car dealership across the street. There's like some interstate that's going to come over, and he's trying to buy up that lot or something to stop that interstate from being built there, because, it'd run through his dealership, and he'd have to, sell his land. It'd be, a huge loss for him. So the brother's trying to buy the old property. The brother of the used dealership doesn't want to sell. So they kind of just do a ploy to fucking kill the brother. They send over one of their mechanics to take him for an insane joyride in which he does, in fact, make the guy have a fucking heart attack, and he dies. And he fucking dies. And then they realize if they, report this to the cops, the brother across the street's just going to get, ownership of the dealership. So instead of reporting him dying, they basically just bury him in, an old, ground lift system they have, and they just bury him in there with his car, and then just tell everybody he just went to a trip to, Florida or something? Miami?
Yeah, to Miami Beach.
Yeah, he went on a trip to Miami. And then they start doing everything in their power to sell as many cars as possible without any real moral reprieve. They hijack fucking TV stations to display horrible ads for things. They have fucking strippers go on tops of the cars. They lie, all sorts of stuff to get as much money as they can.
They commit acts of terror, even, dude.
Mm-hmm.
They do. They fucking blow up a car. Not very subtle. And then, the guy finds out that the dude is in fact not dead. They have to dig him up and then actually, fake his death again to, really sell it. The fucking daughter also at some point comes in, the daughter of the used car dealership owner. She is just looking for her dad. She wants to reconnect with him. Hasn't been in his life for 10 years. They're trying to dissuade her from doing this, or try to redirect her to go down to Miami to try to find her, is to waste her time, so they can broadcast some ads, and they don't want her seeing it. She figures out about the whole ruse. She ends up taking up ownership of the dealership, and just fires everybody there and tries to do it all herself. She attempts to make an advertisement for it, in which the fucking brother then hires somebody to do an editing job of that ad, in which he says something that falsifies some claims. They get sent to court for it, and then there's this whole rigmarole of them trying to prove that she actually has a mile's worth of cars on the lot, and then everything kind of comes together in the end, where they at the very start of the movie, somebody's trying to sell the guy a couple hundred cars or whatever it is, and then finally he ends up using all of his money that he was saving up for being a politician to buy those cars. And there's some crazy scene where they're all driving a bunch of fucking student drivers are driving all these 200 cars down to the dealership, and they're going and counting them all, and then it's all a happy ever after ending,
Mm-hmm. They did it. These sleazy piece of shit car dealers, they win at the end.
Yeah, honestly, this movie's pretty funny, and I think it's even funnier that, honestly, the brother doesn't really, other than killing his brother there.
Aside from that small thing.
You could see him as relatively benign. Honestly, the other people are kind of the assholes in most of it, because he's trying to do proper business. Other than killing his brother, that's the real
aside
big
that
thing.
it's just
that tiny little thing. But everything else is pretty normal for the most part.
Yeah, I agree. This movie I thought was actually hilarious. The funeral scene, just those terrible ass eulogies they give for the guy, that was super funny. Putting the coins over his eyes and whatever.
Oh yeah.
The commercials were so fucking good.
You just the part where they take the lady's tits out, Tanner. You piece of shit.
Dude,
I sure
that girl was failing to get out of that scenario. I don't know if that was the intention, but she was just fumbling.
Maybe. I really liked all the reactions from like the people at home at that part.
Oh yeah, the dad,
like that big ass family where they just and they're glued to the screen all of a sudden. What did that one kid say? He was like, "That girl's got her tits out" or something like that. That was fucking funny.
Sounds like that.
Then yeah, they have those strippers out there, and I wrote down there's a high variation in quality of these strippers. I mentioned when this movie was picked last week that I saw a picture of what I thought was like a drag queen or a transsexual. No, that was just an incredibly ugly woman.
Yeah.
Oh god.
They
And
exist,
she's like-
Tanner. Are you
Yeah,
trying to say that all drag queens are just ugly-looking women?
I mean, yeah, for like if you
piece of
compare them to
shit.
women, they are ugly. But
You piece of shit, Tanner.
I agree with Tanner.
I think I've probably seen some drag queens that were more attractive than that woman, frankly.
Dear God.
Which is funny because she was like the main one too, which I'm gonna assume that was done for the humor of it. That second commercial was fucking awesome. I loved that shit where they were blowing up the guys' fucking cars, especially because like it was made in the 1980s, so it has like 1980s prices on it, so it's like $6,299. That price is too damn high. Fucking blasting it. That was great. And then, when the FBI is investigating the guy afterwards, he's like, yeah, I woke up, late last night to the sound of an explosion. I saw some guys in turbans yelling about the Ayatollah, and they take off, and the FBI is like, that's all the questions we have, sir.
They just fucking pack up and leave.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I was shocked by how not terrible the fight between Roy L. Fuchs and the one guy is. Like for
It
a
was
comedy,
surprisingly well choreographed.
Exactly. You do not for a movie this old and in the comedy genre, you don't expect anything impressive at all. But they were actually fucking shit up in there. They destroyed every piece of furniture in that entire building in 2 minutes. But that was really
he was
funny.
fighting a feeble old man. How could he not hold his own at all?
That man was not feeble.
Yeah,
He was
not
a feeble old
at
man,
all.
dude. He had a weak heart.
He was mauling that person.
He had high blood sugar and shit.
Shout out to Kurt Russell getting laid while their entire plan is coming apart. Real good for that guy.
Yeah, that's always sweet. Now, one thing, Tanner, one thing here that I'd really like to mention. Now, you and Jackson have been mentioning this whole time about how hilarious, how funny,
Oh my god.
funny this movie is. I gotta say, Tanner, I only laughed one time in this entire film, I'd say.
That's because you're a joyless cretin.
You see, I really liked the part, even though the joke was kind of ruined. I really liked the part where the fucking old man is dying, and they've got these fucking people buying a car at that same time. They're like, huh, $50. $50 never killed anybody. And then the fucking guy comes rolling in there, fucking dying because he just went on a crazy car ride. He's like, I guess $50 really can kill somebody. And then he just dies right in front of him. I thought that whole part. I thought that whole part was done fairly well, and it gave me a good chuckle. However, the rest of the movie, I just didn't really find all that funny. Ultimately, what I told Jackson at the very end of the film is that this feels like a dad movie, okay? This is not a...
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest, Nico. I think this is a skill issue with you.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. How is it a skill issue?
Oh,
You
the
need
last
to
counts
just
as
you just
skill
need to be
issue.
better at finding the funny.
Oh,
Yeah?
damn.
Yeah.
I don't know about all that, man. I don't know about
'Cause
that. I can acknowledge when jokes are being made, but I just don't think they're very funny. Is all.
Yeah, that's a skill issue, Nico. Much like a person with a good sense of eyesight is someone who can see many things. A person with a good sense of humor is someone who can detect humor in many things.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's
I
a
can
little
detect
science
the
for
humor,
you.
Tanner. I'm seeing that it's supposed to be there. I just don't find it funny. Is all.
Yeah, and you that means you got a defective sense of humor, my guy.
True.
I like when the cops show up to investigate the body and they are just destroying their lot. They're crashing through barriers and almost hitting those fucking guys and whatever.
I really like how in old media the cops are portrayed just incredibly reckless.
They
it's,
really don't
it's like
give
always
a
a
fuck.
constant. They're just fucking driving around like madmen, crashing into shit. Their cars are always fucking bumping into stuff without any thought about it. It's great. I love it.
Even in their own logic, that is an active crime scene that they are now destroying.
Yeah.
Let's see. They killed a guy that was decently funny where they just explode him in front of everyone. I like the judge character, and specifically I found it very funny how he has those, they're trying to sell him as this like hard ass who no one's ever gone innocent in front of, and he's got those little dioramas of different execution methods up on his desk. Like, what the fuck?
Playing them in front of the girl while she's lying.
Tad correction here. I did actually like the judge. I thought he was pretty funny as well.
There you go. He's a good old southern judge.
Also,
down from
real quick, one thing that really
Arizona.
one thing that really confused me at one point in the film. So, like, they're doing, like, some big old fucking rigmarole or whatever the fuck, like, earlier in the film. And just, like, at some point, Kurt Russell guy, he's trying to find, like, one of the other dudes to, like, get him to, like, fucking sell a car to some random-ass citizen or whatever the fuck. And he, like, looks over at him. He's just, like, fucking some lady in a car. What did that have to do with anything? Why were they doing that?
Sex is funny, Nico.
Okay.
Is it?
In that scenario, I guess.
I like the scam he does with the dog.
Oh, yeah.
Where
The dog was a trooper throughout the whole movie. Man was just going with it.
You killed my dog! All he ever wanted was to see you and your family in a reasonably priced automobile, and now he's dead! But,
I think it really would have sold if they actually killed the dog right there, though.
Okay.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Jesus.
I will never bring my dogs around you ever.
He wants to see blood.
Unfortunate.
And then we have a big Mad Max-ass ending.
Yeah, I was surprised that they actually blew up some of the cars during that scene. That was crazy, dude.
Yeah, and they actually jumped a train.
Yeah.
They might actually have done that shit, because I don't know exactly how well you can fake that in the 80s.
I mean, you'd be surprised. You know, they had Predator back then.
That's fair enough,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless those were actual aliens that they actually fought.
Oh my god, Tanner's breaking the code here.
But, yeah, do we have any other thoughts on this movie?
Used cars, more like...
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm giving this
bar.
movie a C tier.
What the fuck? You
I
are
think it
out
was-
of your goddamn mind.
I just didn't think it was all that great, man.
Tanner's facial expression shift was priceless.
Jackson,
that's a
what
crazy
are you
ranking.
giving it?
I'm giving it an A-. I thought it was quite funny through most of it.
I'm giving it an S-. You're literally
Damn,
on
Jesus.
crack, Nico.
I didn't think this movie was very funny, man. And so
You're
if it's
not
not funny,
funny.
what else does it have to offer?
That's
Jesus Christ.
that's fair. I mean, the acting was pretty good throughout most of it. I think the cinematography was pretty clever. In some
And Kurt
scenes.
Russell is so handsome, Nico.
Right?
He's
Have you
so
seen the guy?
dashing.
Love that guy. Anyways, that puts us at a solid B+ right there.
Hot
Yes,
damn.
sir.
Look at that shit.